Happy release for Fullmetal Alchemist, finally joining us in Union Arena on the North American side, just a little bit behind its Japanese release, but this is an insanely powerful set to look forward to, and I definitely think we'll see a bit of it at Gen Con. But if you've seen this video but not my other one, I did include the 6 different deck lists that you need to know about if you're jumping in with this set. So if you want to get started, definitely go check out that video, or if you just want to see some sick pulls, that's exactly what we're going to dive in today, and also go over our case hits at the end. So with that out of the way, let's get to it. So as I mentioned, we do have a box here, and it's going to be the same rules as always. Go about through half the box, just showing off some of the hits, and at the very end, we'll go through all the case hits and just talk about maybe my thoughts on the format overall as we're going through it, or stop and call out any hits as we get them. Now, the one thing I do want to mention here is that for those that have been watching the channel for a while or keeping track, we are now 16 cases deep throughout Union Arena's launch until now, and not hitting a chase hit, meaning the 3-star for Union Arena's case, and in other games, just whatever like the most sought after card is. So there is a chance technically that there's still a 3-star in this box. Spoiler, we already pulled the 2-star, we'll see at the end, but we'll have to wait and see. And what I just pulled out is the box topper, and let me get off this other light. The box topper, so if you haven't seen these before, there is the raid fodder for each one. Every box gets one of them, so very nice to see it get opened. But as always, we are just going to go through here card by card here at the start. I am still, of course, trying to work on a better lighting situation, but I'll go through this slow enough just to make sure that everyone can see all the cards, the different effects, and again, just kind of talk about the first half of the pack as we're going through it and the different meta cards. So you might be wondering, what's the play in this set? Honestly, every single deck is good, which is a very crazy thing to say, but if you like a low to the ground discard strategy, you could actually do the Riza and Mustang deck. Is a very probably a very popular one for a lot of people because it's a different kind of blue deck than we've seen in the game so far. So if you're looking for more aggressive but want to try out a different color, you can definitely check that out. But again, for me, there's at least one good deck in every color, but also I just think that all of the decks, like at worst, are a tier 2, which is something that we haven't been able to say about a Union Arena set since Code Geass's launch. So I think for people who are joining in and getting ready for like regionals, I don't know, we actually got 2 SRs right back to back. If you're looking forward to joining us for regionals and you want a little bit of a variety in the different decks you can play, I mean, this is a great set to be jumping in with. So Lafon there is a part of the Go Tall yellow deck that is making an appearance in Fullmetal Alchemist. We don't often get a lot of the late game strategy yellow decks. It's really reserved for the green color, which is going to be kind of your ramp up into big bodies. But in this set, we did actually get a yellow deck surrounding it that wants to go up to 7 energy. And we're going to talk about Greed here later if we see him, or if just showing him off in our 2-star hits. I guess spoiler there. But the deck is very interesting because it does create some like low to the ground patterns that your opponent is normally going to want to set up boards of 4K attackers, right? Because that's usually what you try to align with in Union Arena to close out boards. All your rated units are going to be 4K or higher. And the yellow deck is just saying like, oh, I'm sorry, do you have, as we drop part of the pack, do you have, higher than 3,500 BPs on your board? Well, then guess what? Because I hit this energy requirement, these are now going to be able to go unblocked. So it allows you to set up a board state where your opponent has to leave back one of their attacking slots for a weaker unit, and that can be really problematic for some decks if they can't rely on their top end as consistently as they might like to. So with the yellow deck, it is a bit of a more difficult deck to pilot in terms of waiting to see the right pieces and knowing when you want to try to go for your big damage push. But when it comes online, I mean, it is very, very aggressive. So again, we're just going to go through these best we can, trying to make sure that everything is still readable with the light and whatnot. Some of the other decks, just going into yellow, if you picked up the starter decks, you're probably excited to upgrade the Ed and Al deck. And that is one that plays out of your sideline or trash discard, what have you. And it's actually really cool. Ed can get back Al, and you're usually get an effect for it, be it drawing a card, or if you're using the color trigger variant, right, you can get some additional effects on play. So for someone who wants to be more flavorful for the set itself, definitely look forward to the yellow starter deck getting upgraded in the main set, and doing a pretty good job at bringing back kind of the, getting to bring Al back and seeing the effects come together is really sick. Now, the other thing that I will mention, again, if you haven't seen an unboxing yet, that I really like is in the North American version, we do get or I should say 2 non-foil action points per box, and there is 1 foil action point per case. So that is something you can always look out for. And again, it's just really nice to be able to match the theme of your decks to the action points, where it used to be a lot harder in the Japan format, or you just had to rely on the shop promos to get you the cards. So I'm glad to see that we actually have it as a option to be very easily accessible for us, especially for me who likes to have all their action points match. It's really nice. Yep, and there is the Roy Mustang. So we did get them both in the same box. And this one's nice because, again, it's just very good removal, very low to the ground. If it sticks on the board after a turn, your opponent's just going to be in for a bad time because of how strong it can be. Now, it is a 5 energy, which is the one thing I will say is a bit of a drawback for it, but at 4 energy, it definitely would have been too good. But I mean, the card is still crazy for what it wants to be doing. So last pack here that we're going to go through, because again, you've seen a lot of the commons and uncommons already, to go for the slower pull rate. And then we're just going to quickly go through the rest of the pack, see if we get a hit, see if we get see if we get a 3-star, right? See if we get any kind of special alt art. And this is going to be the other non-foil Roy Mustang action point. So again, you get 2 of them per pack, or excuse me, 2 of them per box and they take over a rare slot, which is not that big of a deal. It's not something that if you're opening product, you mind as much, but still something to look out for. So the alt arts in a box can either be 1 or 2. Oh, my finger's covering that a little bit. Can be 1 or 2 alt arts per box, just depending on what you get. And again, I'll have all my case hits at the end, but generally speaking, if you get a double hit box, you're feeling pretty good about it, depending on what you open. But of course, we want to always be looking for the double star or triple star, which is the case hit in Union Arena. So every case is going to have a 2-star, and then if you're lucky, you will get the 3-star as well. So, and you get 6 SRs. So there should be 2 more SRs in this left side of the box. And then there should be 1 to 2 alt arts. So, I mean, we have 4 packs left. So this is probably going to be a 1 alt art box. And, well, there's the alt art. Okay, we did get the Ed here. I actually really love, and I'm hoping that this comes through in the style. Yep. There you go. You can kind of see at the top end. This, like, very faint gold trim that they did, and this silver or white backing to it also has a pattern in the design, which kind of barely comes through with the camera. I'm trying to find one of my 2 light sources that can really hit this, but unfortunately not. And then, of course, you have the Fullmetal Alchemist tag on the side. This is a really sick alt art. I'm very happy that they did this style, and you're going to see quite a few more of them. But what's also really cool is that there's a deck that is actually uses most of them. So there's another SR, so there's 1 left. And it comes together really nice if you have all the alt arts. So this has also been a really nice set for how they approach the alt arts. I think they did a great job at finding a theming that worked for the deck, so that if you are playing one style of deck, all the alt arts are going to have a very similar flow to them, and they're all unique for the for the different archetypes in the set. So looks like this last one is going to be an SR, just based on what we got here. So, yep, it is Greed. There we go. So that is our last SR for the box. Again, you get 6. This comes into focus. And this is, again, the late style yellow deck that we have mentioned. So there is our 6 SRs, of course, our 1 alt art. But that was a quick unboxing. And now time for, I'm going to get that box out of the way, the alt art. So as I mentioned, in every box, you do get a double star variant. So in this case, we got Greed with the gold texturing and the signature there. I do love the Greed in the back of it as well. I ran out of my normal clear sleeve, so I just have everything in katanas at this point, but love how it looked. For our foil action point, we did get Edward, and I really wish, and actually I'll just take this one off the sleeve so it shows up a little bit better. Let me see if it can, see if this will get in focus. All the action points are textured as well. This one has a much lighter texturing, and because it's all the, I guess there you go. Because of the black background, it's a little bit harder to see, but you can see the foiling pattern that's on it as well. So, of course, everyone wanted the Winry action point. Is going for like $100 right now, last I looked. So, go figure, but it does look pretty sick. So, Again, seeing more of that gold trim. Oh, there you go. I guess that really makes it pop out. So there's more of that faint gold trim. We have the Fullmetal Alchemist logo here on the side that you can see barely. And then having the style. So this, again, all goes in the same style of deck, which I thought was really cool. So we got one Ling, the Scar, which you can run as a 2 of. I don't have very strong feelings about either way. I cut it from my list, but you can run 2 of the Scar if you really want to. So here we have the Owl showing off the one that you get back from Ed as you're playing them together. This is definitely like the premier one to get, and I love that they have the names in the background. Here is the Step variant Ed that I just opened. We have a Winry with your backup, which is really important because it makes your Edward a 4K attacker with the resting effect, and it becomes a double energy. So always have to play 4 of that card. And then, of course, the Land Fan being the other kind of key yellow card that we mentioned in that style of deck. To round out the strategy. So those all go in the yellow deck together, which is really nice. Now, the one that does stick out from the blue deck, I will admit, is the Edward. I do love, this is probably my favorite alt art of the set, just because of how good it looks by comparison. So a huge fan of that one. And then for the others, and let's see if this lighting will help as well here. We have Roy, and this one does break the fold a little bit. Very good attacker, and we got 2 of those. But this is the other one. If you saw the video, I love the Briggs deck, and all of the Briggs characters go together. Like, this is a sick deck if you alt art this out. I love the framing on it. I love the hard blue cut that it has. I mean, these look great. This is definitely from which set of them has the best alt art, and maybe just because I'm biased because I love Briggs deck the most. I'm very happy to see this. So, of course, we got Armstrong. We have Olivier, which is the kind of key raid leader. We have Buccaneer, which is the other one that you want to be restanding. We have Hughes, which is the other color trigger you can be running for the other deck for Roy's deck, but still has that same texturing for it. And then there's the other Roy Mustang. Again, really cool that it has the very, very nice gold trim for the names in the background, which somewhat pops up there, which is very nice. And then getting into purple, we have the Homunculus. So Father looks sick, I will admit, with all the gears and all the logos behind him. Has more texturing in the background. There you go, which you can kind of see if I do that. And then it was a tie between Homunculus, actually, and the blue Briggs, but I think all the Homunculus, too, look really great with the pride in having their names in the background and having all this purple fix. So these also look very good all together. There's Envy. We have Gluttony. We have King Bradley, which also I just love this as a double attacker. Very strong for the deck. And then rounding it off with not 1, but 2 Lust, the real MVP. Probably, again, if there's a single best raid out of Fullmetal Alchemist, you gotta give it up to Lust. She just does so much for all versions of purple and is a absolute beast. So let me know down below if you are picking up Fullmetal Alchemist this week. If you are, what is your favorite deck from the set? Again, for me personally, I love the Briggs deck. I just think it's so fun to get brawly with it, and it's a very different style of blue deck that still draws a bunch of cards, which is really important in a best of 1 setting. But overall, this is a very solid tier 1.5 to tier 2 variant, depending on like how good you are with it and refine the list a little bit. Very, very strong set for the North American meta. And when it gets a volume 2, the entire thing is going to get brought up to a tier 1 status. So whenever we get a volume 2 for this set, it's going to be potentially very, very crazy. But with that, of course, I'll be going to Gen Con. Again, apologize, videos have been a little bit lighter this week just with everything going on. So if you're at Gen Con, let me know. Say hi. I'll be doing a lot of stuff for a lot of different card games ultimately. But of course, I will be checking out all things Union Arena. And of course, very excited for, any other announcements we might get for it at Gen Con. So until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.